Okay, I was waiting for a red light, didn't do anything. Okay, I'm calling the Albany Selectmen's meeting to order for July 9th, 2025. Please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Under new business, approval of the Selectmen's meeting minutes for June 25th, 2025.
I move the approval of the Selectmen's minutes for June 25th.
I'll second that.
All in favor? Aye.
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 Approval of July 9, 2025 consent file. Review and sign manifests in the amount of $2,526.34 and $7,303.48. This includes an accounts payable and payroll manifests for 7/1/2025 and 7/8/2025. Review, discuss, and sign PA-28 inventory of taxable property form for 2026 from New Hampshire Department of Revenue Administration. Review, discuss, approve, or deny a supplemental PA-7 notice of intent to cut wood or timber for operation number 25-003-04-T. Review, discuss, and approve or deny a request for time off for the town administrator. Review, discuss, and approve or deny a residential building permit for MAP 7, Lot 114, 1265 Bald Hill Road. Review, discuss, approve, or deny a commercial building permit for New Hampshire World Fellowship. Review and discuss approval for operation of an individual sewage disposal system for MAP 7, Lot 79. Review and discuss approval for operation of an individual sewage disposal system for MAP 7, Lot 76.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent file in its entirety.
I'll second.
All in favor? Aye.
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 Town administrators report.
Just review and discuss the information from town council as far as writing a policy for the meeting videos, how long they'll be available, notice when they are taken down, and that when they are taken down, they are destroyed and no longer available. So I did reach out to town council. I forwarded him the email from NHMA Legal, and he agreed with them. He said, I agree with the comments and echo what he said about the recordings being both governmental records, and that the town should still be taking written meeting minutes that meet the requirements of RSA 91-A2. So really, it's the minutes that are for the right to know.
Yeah.
It's not the video at all.
Oh, we can't cover ourselves any better than that. Yes, sir.
I'll make a motion to approve video of our meetings in the town of Albany to be streamed directly to YouTube, using our own website on YouTube.
I'll second that. All in favor? Aye.
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 Excellent.
Did you get all that?
Yeah.
You can watch it back.
Is that all you got, Elisa?
Yeah, that was
Okay.
really all I had
That's
today. I have a
Hey,
little follow-up
Could
on
could
some
I
of the
make
correspondence.
one suggestion?
Yeah.
And this isn't a critique, it's just a suggestion. When you send something to town council, I wouldn't have sent the New Hampshire Municipal Association,
Okay,
and for the simple reason, I want his opinion. I don't want him to agree with somebody else.
gotcha.
Yeah.
If we have an important situation come up, I'd hate to get caught in that trap.
Okay. No, I see
You
what you're
follow?
saying. I thought you guys wanted him to see what they said and
Yeah.
either agree or
I-
deny, or,
I don't
disagree.
trust lawyers as far as I can throw them.
Gotcha.
Okay? And I'd rather let him do the work that he's getting paid for,
Sure.
okay? And giving us his opinion that he has to defend,
Yeah, no, makes sense.
just
Yep.
going forward.
We're okay, though.
All good.
And for anyone watching or future watching, we're gonna be resetting the camera and everything up, so you get more visibility. And I think I'm gonna ask Elisa to move to that other chair for the next meeting so I can see her.
Okay, can you? That's fine.
But we're gonna reconfigure, and it's gonna work out well. Okay, old business. The planning board met. What do we have there, Jim?
So the planning board's going to meet
They
July
haven't?
14th at our next meeting. We're going to have a public hearing for a small subdivision, which is actually just a merging of lots.
Okay.
Merging of lots.
Yep, up off Aviation Drive, that cul-de-sac development. There's 3 lots, 91, I think it's 91.
Are they all owned by the same person?
They're all owned by the same person.
Do you have to have a public hearing? I thought lot mergers were just a decision of the planning board, period.
Well, it has to do with the right-of-way that accesses that also.
Oh, okay. Oh,
So
that
we wanna
one.
make
All right,
sure
I
that-
got you.
All basically
Because
covered.
merging a property, as long as it's the same people that own
Yep.
both properties, basically the planning board chair can just sign off on it.
So one of the lots is actually a cul-de-sac. It's a .4
I
acre
I know the one
cul-de-sac.
you're talking about now. Okay.
And that's gonna go away. But it is privately owned, that part of it. So, that's it. And they're gonna meet, we're gonna do that at our next meeting, which is Monday.
Excellent. Solid waste, nothing. Chapo committee still working feverishly on an inventory. Correspondence, a letter from Albany, Wanalancet resident David Lawrence. I've read it. I still feel terrible about the whole thing, and this has to do with the beach rights being removed from some residents over in Wanalancet by the town of Sandwich. But the agreement, as far as we can tell, was it's landfill for plowing.
I was able to find, I went back in the typewritten minutes from 1991, and they're in the office if anyone would like to see them, but they all say dump. They
Yeah.
never mention a beach sticker ever, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I just hope that that the Sandwich Select Board could consider it, considering the amount of people, 10,
Yeah.
roughly 10. Some have lived there all their lives, and enjoyed that space. It would be nice if it wasn't taken away from them. I know we can't do anything, but
No.
hope.
I've-
I do hope that that's.
I take into consideration the fact that those people that have used it for eternity are probably the best keepers of that beach.
Right.
Without a doubt.
Yeah, and probably police it better than most. So,
So if anyone's listening,
I mean, would it be worth us formulating a letter to speak to that? So when they have his letter and our letter, then,
The only thing is, I'd hate to push it to the point where you upset them, and now our other agreement for dump versus plow
Yeah.
gets affected by it.
I would think Curtis
It's
would
been
be.
a gentleman's agreement for as long as I can
yeah,
remember,
but it can be,
you know.
tweaked a little bit, maybe.
You know, the problem with town government is every year, part of the select board changes. Okay? And it can go from a very favorable select board to a very unfavorable select board in a matter of a couple of elections.
What do you think would happen if we wanted to renegotiate the handshake deal, and this is the way we want the new deal to go?
And what if they just turned it down altogether?
Then we both lose, both towns lose. I don't think it's worth the 10 people or so, good people. I don't know that it's worth keeping them off the beach and losing a deal that's been in place for so long and it's worked well for both towns.
It's not
And what
our-
if-
It's not our town.
No,
You know,
it's
I mean,
not, but
it's-
there are people. So I'm just trying to do what's right for our people.
Right. I'd say if we're going to do that, we should get Curtis involved and get his assessment on what's at risk
Yeah,
renegotiating.
I agree with that.
let's let them push it.
Okay,
He wrote a letter,
all right.
you know, maybe they should go over and appear before the select board over there,
Yeah,
you know, and keep the town out of it, at least on the short term, to see if they would, I mean, the guy wrote a nice letter,
yeah. Well, he did.
you know, really just, you know, spelled it out.
Well, let's see what they come back with, I guess.
And he wrote it from the heart, so, I
Yeah.
mean, that should carry a little bit, but
I just hope it doesn't get 86 to the bottom of the pile, and we'll see. Let's wait.
Well, then we can always, at that point,
Yeah. No, I think we'll hear more about this, so.
yeah.
All right. Okay. Public notice from the Conway Branch Rail Trail Advisory Committee.
This is just a meeting they have coming up.
what is that? I never heard of it.
So, I know very little about it, but I think they want to take the tracks from somewhere in Ospey, and because I know little about it, I don't know the start and the end. I guess I do know the end. The end is the Albany-Conway town line on the tracks, but they want to make a trail.
I know they go through, they definitely
through
go
that.
through Center Ossipee.
Yeah, so it, they
trail
want to make
for-
a trail the whole length of
A
it.
trail for what, though? Yeah, it's gonna-
For recreation.
for walking or biking or
For whose,
snowmobiles?
for whose recreation?
They want to make it, but that hasn't
for
been
more
decided
tourists?
completely. Well, no, they said, there was something I read that said they wanted to maybe keep the rails for rail cars that people do. Is
I've
a-
seen those, and
a
that's what I thought it
recreational
was.
thing. So they want to use that for types of recreation, which hasn't, I don't think, been decided completely yet. And this meeting is to talk about that and
I think
to
it's,
move that forward.
Now, you're talking about the rail tracks that go behind the
Yeah,
mobile
across-
station? Didn't they take all those
Yes.
rails out?
No. The mobile station here in Albany?
Yeah.
No, those tracks are still there.
yeah.
The rails
And
are
how
still
far does that go?
Oh, forever.
there, all the way down.
And where does it go?
It goes down to where it's owned by a rare, I think it goes all the way down, like, through Ospey, into Ospey, where Ospey Aggregate is, because Ospey Aggregate has rails that they use, and there's a section where
Yeah, going
the rail
south.
company owns it from there down, but the state supposedly owns it, or owns most of it, going north, to the town line, which is then owned by Conway Scenic Railroad.
I think you're gonna put high-performance side-by-sides with open pipes.
I thought it was like a gravel bike
With jet
path or snowmobile, it's just right now. it's
It is now
trail.
snowmobile, yeah, yeah. with
So-
rigs. Just to get more.
That's what
people.
they're doing.
Yeah. I won't be going. Okay, Charter Communications Pricing Adjustment Letter. Nothing there,
That was
right?
an interesting letter.
Yeah, it was.
And let me just shed some light on that. You know, the communications committees, as well as the district, okay, have created some competition between ISPs, internet suppliers,
Yes.
okay? And this looks like it is working.
Oh, yeah.
Competition is good?
Competition's very good.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And that is what we have today. Anything else before we skedaddle out of here?
Move to adjourn.
I'll second that.